Hi, my name is John Eagan, and welcome to my book, The Enlightenment, What God Told Me After 1 Million Prayers, a Message for Everyone. Now, in my previous video, I explained all the events that led up to my enlightenment with God. The 1 million prayers, I said, how long it took me to recite 1 million prayers, and how and where I recited them. But today, I think it would be a great idea to bring you into the actual enlightenment with God in more detail. I would like you to understand the God no one understands, the infinite God, the one I actually communicated with during my enlightenment. We as a people never really deal with the infinite. Right from the beginning, when you are conceived, it took 9 months for you to be born. Every hour thereafter starts with 1 minute and ends in 60 minutes. A day is 24 hours. It begins and ends after 24 hours. Everything we know and experience has a beginning and an ending. The problem today is that we are not a spiritual people. When it comes to spirituality, most people wander around in darkness. Their spirit doesn't feel anything. Ask yourself, do you even know what your spirit is? Do you even know who God is? People imagine God himself according to themselves and not as he is in his infinite love. You were made in his image and likeness, but not the one you see in the mirror. People are seeking truth but looking for it in all the wrong places today. Today, through my enlightenment with God, I will attempt to explain who and what God really is and what you will do in heaven someday. I will try to explain God's infinite being by giving you a few examples on how to understand the actual power of being infinite. I'm going to ask you to bear with me for a few minutes and try to imagine this room is filled with typewriters. While you're imagining that, imagine this room is filled with thousands of monkeys. Yeah, that's right, I said monkeys. Now imagine those monkeys hitting the keys of the typewriter constantly all day long. According to computer statistics, if typewriter keys are hit randomly for 150,000 years, they will actually type about 3 or 4 words from Shakespeare's play Hamlet in the right order. Now imagine those monkeys hitting those keys for 300,000 years. Now there would be about 8 words in order from the play Hamlet. Imagine 1 million years, 2 million years, 100 million years. Eventually, when you're working in the infinite, those monkeys would type all of Hamlet perfectly, just like it was written by Shakespeare himself. And in the infinite, those monkeys would type Hamlet over and over again infinitely. Now hold on to that concept, and let's take it to the next level. I hope you're beginning to understand just how powerful the infinite is. Now imagine God's universe. People believe the universe is infinite. It's so vast with billions and billions of galaxies out there, just like our galaxy called the Milky Way. But this vast, vast universe is actually not infinite, because if it were infinite, just like those monkeys who would type Hamlet over and over again, in an infinite universe, the Earth and everything else would have to be duplicated over and over again. That's not God's plan. He didn't want Earth duplicated over and over again. Because if that happened, I, John Eagan, would have to be duplicated over and over again. And you would have to be duplicated over and over again. God only wanted one of me and one of you. When something is truly infinite, it never ends. It goes on and on forever, infinitely. It's immeasurable, subject to no limitations whatsoever. The only thing that is truly infinite is God. Now let's take this concept of what's infinite, what infinite means, and try to understand the infinite mind of God. Most people ask me what they're going to do in heaven someday. People believe they're going to be in some kind of a church or a temple, singing in the choir with angels. They might feel it gets a little boring. That's because they don't understand the infinite mind of God. There's one difference between the kind of infinite we just discussed and God's kind of infinite. God's mind is infinite and under control all at the same time. In heaven, God's infinite mind will show you something wonderful, beautiful, and different every day for all of eternity. Because he is infinite, he is incapable of doing anything less than that. Incapable. Did you understand what I said? Because his mind is infinite and under control, he will produce something wonderful every day for all of eternity. You won't be able to take your eyes off of Him and the wonders He will produce for you eternally. You see, because God is infinite, you will never be able to even scratch the surface of His infinite mind. If something is truly infinite as God is, even the surface is infinite. If something is infinite as God is, you can never get to the other side of what's infinite. This is what you'll be dealing with for all of eternity. If you can love, God can love you infinitely. If you so love your mother and father and your children, God can love them infinitely more than you. If you love yourself, God loves you infinitely more than you can even love yourself. Because God is infinite, He is everywhere. Being everywhere means He is right here, right now, with you and with me. His infinite love is always with you. You can ask God for anything you want, and because of His infinite love for you, He will grant it to you. All you have to do is trust in His infinite love. If you want to be enlightened about your life, if you want to know why you are here today, if you want to know what you must do with this precious time God has given you, if you want to understand God in a way you've never done before, if you want to understand what you will do in heaven for all eternity, or if you're just curious about what someone will do in hell for all eternity, you must pick up this book, The Enlightenment. What God told me after 1 million prayers, a message for everyone. Now thank you, and may God bless you.